What's up, everybody? It's me, Bryson Booker, and guess what? I'm back for another review just for you. I look really bright, I look really annoying, but just ignore my brightness, okay? Don't throw any asteroids at me. There's a lot of people nowadays that like throwing asteroids at people because they assume that they don't have anything to offer them. But what do I do to combat asteroids? The asteroids, that people throw at me on Facebook or they throw at me on YouTube because they don't like a way I did a certain video or they think they could do the video better than me. What do? I just shoot them back. Where do I get that mentality from? I get it from, what else? Asteroids. And that was a very weird illustration, but I don't care. I'm going to roll with it. Anyway, this is Asteroids 1999, released in 1999 by Activision, and it was one of PlayStation's greatest hits. Obviously, this was released on the PlayStation 1, and it's pretty much a pre-millennium version of Asteroids. Now, there was this weird thing that happened in 1998 and 1999 for a lot of these arcade games. A lot of them were celebrating big anniversaries at this time. 30th anniversaries, different things like that. And so a lot of manufacturers, typically Atari, as teaming up with Hasbro games as well as with Activision, released a lot of classic 80s arcade games for a new generation, pretty much. And they do give you the original Asteroids, but there was just this trend in the late 90s, like I guess Y2K probably started it maybe, where all of these space-like arcade games started to come back into homes and onto consoles. Asteroids was one of those games, as well as Frogger and Centipede 1999, which I actually have Centipede 1999 in my collection. I don't have it with me now, but it is in my game collection, and I still play it pretty regularly. And they also released some other classics. The first Pac-Man World game was released in 1999. So the 80s, if you were a fan of the 80s, 1999 was definitely a good year for you because there was a lot of stuff being re-released. There was a lot of anniversaries happening. There was a lot of memories being made. And Activision wanted to jump on that bandwagon and got the rights to Atari's famed game, Asteroids. And so the game is pretty simple. You got rocks floating everywhere and you have to shoot them. And there's also a minor story. That's the other thing with these re-releases that were so prominent in the late 90s, these game releases. There was always some sort of story. Like, generally, when you play Centipede, you're not expecting a story because the game is so stupidly simple, you don't need one. Duh. Well, I guess they thought since this was the new millennium and, we got a lot of kids playing this game, we got to add something to spice it up. And so, Activision, or whoever produced this game, added a minor story, and it's not a very complex story. It could have been a lot complex, which I'm glad they didn't do, but you're pretty much this member of a secret organization, and your sergeant is giving you messages like, the asteroids are destroying the world, only you can save us. That's it. That's pretty much the bulk of the story. You just have to save the world. And hey, it's pretty simple, and it makes playing the game, if not more fun than it already is, it makes it maybe 1%, 2% more fun. There we go. And so you have that minor story right there. I just want to make sure I'm not going past my time here. And I think the biggest thing that this game does is improve the graphics tremendously. So obviously it doesn't look like that old original Asteroids. You can see some of the graphics here, and I want to do a gameplay. So I'm going to do 2 game reviews, and then after I do those 2 reviews, I'm going to upload gameplays of me playing the game. Now, keep in mind, guys, I'm not a wizard at video games. I'm in my 20s now, okay? My reflexes are not that good anymore. I'm just going to be honest with you. So, I may not be an expert at a game, but there's 1,000 other people on YouTube who are experts at things like Asteroids, and you can watch them if you want to. But I'm going to give you at least a demo of how this game plays and what you do on it. But again, the graphics are pretty impressive, even for 1999. I hate when people make the excuse like, it was 1999. They were just decent graphics. You know, it was PlayStation. This goes beyond that. You know, these are just PlayStation graphics stereotype. It actually looks very good, especially the cutscenes. There are cutscenes. What do you know? But they do look pretty good. The graphics play well. The game itself plays well. There's no finicky stuff going on. Sometimes the controls can get a little wonky, so I think there's a setting on here. If you're not used to the control scheme that is the default on this game, you can go in and change that to your liking, whatever you want it to be. So that's a good feature to have. The other feature that you have on this, besides you can get power-ups, you can have shields, you can have bombs, things like that, you know, just making Asteroids more exciting for a new generation. You know, they like blowing things up and stuff. Besides all of that cool stuff, you get to unlock, and it says right here that you can do it, you get to unlock the original Asteroids so you can play it and beat your friends if you want. Now, at first I kind of thought this was stupid because it's like, well, you're buying this game partially to play the original, and then you have to unlock the original. But guys, I'm just going to be the guy to spoil it for you, okay? It doesn't take that long to unlock the original Asteroids. I think when you get to about level 3 or level 4, it unlocks. And then once it unlocks, go to your main menu and save it. And then you can just play it whenever you want. Okay, but it doesn't take a long time to unlock the original Asteroids. And the original Asteroids plays like Asteroids. At least the arcade version, not the Atari 2600 version. Plays like the arcade version. So, I don't want this game to be... See, they even re-released Space Invaders. See, I'm telling you, the late 90s was a great time to be an 80s fan, let me tell you. But this is pretty much the 21st century equivalent of the 1980s version of Asteroids. It's a great, great game, great graphics, great soundtrack, great level design, you know, and it's challenging. Activision is known for making challenging games. I mean, that's how they got started, by making challenging games, like Pitfall, okay? So if you want a challenge, and there are a lot of gamers who do, especially in this generation of cinematic games, looking all fancy and stuff. If you want a good old school challenge, put in Asteroids. You'll be mad as long as you need to be, okay? It's a great game. I would encourage you to check it out. If you haven't played Asteroids, if you want to play Asteroids again, if you just want something else to play besides Halo, give this a try. It may allow you to rethink what Halo means. So check it out. It's Asteroids from Activision, released in 1999.